Okay, we just had an email through. It's good news and bad news. So for those of you that aren't Ecotricity customers, it's going to be all in and charging to charge August. So said call at the end of August, but by August, could be early August. For customers who are already customers, it's free. Got the email. It's free. How brilliant is that? So people that have been with Ecotricity or want to sign up now, you can get charging for free, which going by the current pricing is going to be well worth it. So good commercial move, and I think it was to be expected that you couldn't expect them to install these crazy tens of thousands of pounds rapids in each location for free, and it to be free forever. Turn the light off there. Save electric. So yeah, how cool is that? It's free. So my thoughts on it. I have been asked, so that's why I'm quickly putting out this video today. Thoughts on it are, I think it's fair enough for them to be able to charge for the infrastructure that they've put in place. Price, really expensive. Really expensive, if it really is that price, £5. They haven't actually said in the email the price, so perhaps my thoughts are they just sort of put that price in there when they released the app yesterday. Maybe it'll change, but if it doesn't, that is expensive. £5 for 20 minutes, I think it's been floating around. Can't confirm that myself. But that's expensive. But it's free if you're Ecotricity customer, so it's their hardware, so they should be able to charge for it. I don't see why not. So it appears, according to the email, that the cards will go over time by August, so you just have to use the app to charge. Not sure how it's going to work if you haven't got a data signal. Guess we'll find that one out. Perhaps cards will still work if you have them. Don't know. But yeah, I think it's fair enough. It's free when you're Ecotricity customers. It would have been a complete disaster if everyone was charged that sort of money for it. That would, yeah, completely ruin it. So anyway, I've tied in this clip with, in fact, what I'll do, I'll put the clip I've recorded on the way to work this morning when I first found out about this. I will put that clip after this one, so it won't quite make sense, but it's after it. So there's some further thoughts on it, but it's just a real quick video because this is quite a monumental shift within the whole of the UK in terms of charging, because you can discount all the other companies that do it already because they already charged anyway, and their service is generally pretty shocking in terms of reliability. Ecotricity, they've come out on top in terms of reliability, and now they're introducing a charge, so they're always free and have been for years free. So yeah, so I'll put the video after, and this is a real short video blog because I've been asked so many times and I've got loads of tweets and stuff. So here it is for you guys, and then there's just the clip after, which is going to come now, which probably won't make any sense. Who knows? Catch you guys later. There is another story. Da, 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 da. And if I'm really clever, I'll overlay now an image of the Ecotricity application, which seems to suggest that we are going to have to pay £5 for a charge, and at that it might be 20-minute charge. This is obviously all brand new. It came out yesterday, the application, so it could be they just shoved the figure in there for the sake of it, and a time for the sake of it. Hopefully it's not £5 for 20 minutes. That would be pointless. That would be pointless. The only thing that would be left to make you want to drive the electric car on long journeys. I'm trying to think of reasons now. the only thing it would really is if you were a greenie in and out and you just wanted to drive something that didn't emit toxic particles into the air. That's about the only reason you do it, as far as I can see, and maybe for the comfort of the ride of electric and wanted to pay a premium for that. But otherwise, I'm not really sure why you'd do it. If you were doing a one-off trip and you had to go a long way, so you 99% of the time you're using your car, like I am doing, to work and back, and you're charging at home charging as they call it. So very rarely, well, once a week I use a rapid charger for definite, because I go to Bristol to pick things up, as you probably all know if you're watching. So I wouldn't pay weekly, no, but if I was going into Cornwall or something and I was doing that trip again, mind you, wow, that's 6 charges, 20 minutes, it probably No, I wouldn't use it. Wouldn't use it. I'd just go down in another car. So no, that's a bad example. Going to Bristol, would I go and pick up those parcels anymore if it is £5? It'd be £5 each way, don't forget, so tenner. I'll have to give that some serious consideration. We get charged about £30 for them to deliver, and it takes me 3 hours, I think, the total trip there and back. A bit less, maybe 2.5. Probably not worth it. Probably not worth it. So anyway, it's all brand new, so it could be that they're really going to charge £5, but then they're going to charge something, aren't they? So, which is expected. Yeah, and I think it's probably hard to argue it's too early for them to start charging, which is my original argument, based on the fact that everything was so unreliable. You literally could not rely on a single charger in any of their network. Whereas now, that Bristol one I've been going to for a year. There's two there, and I don't think it's ever failed. I think we might have had it once that one of them had failed, but there was another one to use. So from that point of view, it's pretty darn reliable, and I haven't checked the Ecotricity map for yonks. In that regard, I would have had to check it every single time before I left to even see if I could even do the journey. So that isn't an issue. So perhaps it is time to start charging. But £5 for 20 minutes. I mean, £5 for a charge, up to 80%, would be same thing, really. Same thing. It wouldn't be worth doing for me personally. Comment below if you think of a reason why you would want to pay that money, aside from the reasons I've already given. So perhaps I haven't thought of something. Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I was thinking is if we had longer range vehicles, it's less of an issue, isn't it? So if you could have one that does 200 miles, but the thing is, the time restriction of 20 minutes is a bit, shame it doesn't allow you to kick your charge in and lets you charge and then cuts off at 80%. Something like that. I don't know. But if you had a 200-mile car, so if we want to go to Cornwall, you probably have to charge once. Or you could slow charge when you're there in certain parts of Cornwall. I've taken Cornwall as an example because that's what I've done before. So instead of using 5 or whatever it was on the way down, you just have to use possibly 1. And Cornwall for a £5, really good, definitely worth doing. Cornwall for whatever that's going to be, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 25, 30 quid down and back up again. Still, I suppose it's still, no, it's not, is it? Because it's the other thing you've got to take into account, of course, is the fact that each of those charges you're going to be sat there, well, if you're going to pay £5 for 20 minutes, for 20 minutes, but usually you'll be sat there for 30 to 40 minutes at each one. So say you sat there for 30 minutes at each one, which is going to be a minimum, then you've got that 30 times 5. So it takes so long to get there. So you wouldn't do it. If you had to pay 25 quid and extend your journey by 2 hours, to stroke 3 hours to get there, you just wouldn't do it. Because you're only 30 quid adrift from being able to do it in a petrol car. So you might as well spend the 30 quid and save yourself 3 hours. I don't even know if those figures are accurate in terms of petrol costs. I haven't really thought about it. 25 quid wouldn't get you down there, would it? 50 quid probably would though. I've literally got no idea of fuel costs, by the way. This is the advantage, or in this case the disadvantage, of driving an electric car all the time, is I haven't been to a petrol station to fill up my car for 2 and a bit years. So I've got no idea on fuel costs. And I've got no interest in it, apart from when it comes to questions like this. So in that terms, in long journeys like that, I don't think I'd bother, because it's just so much hassle. But long range, so if I had a car that did 200 miles, 1 charge, be it, or even 2, would be fine. A tenner, that would be alright, that's fine. So I think now the network's where it is too early to introduce the charging, based on the fact that the cars haven't got long range Leafs at the moment, or long range electric cars, whichever ones you want. Unless you can afford a Tesla. So yeah, I think with no issue as the cars increase. So perhaps the model of this car I've got now, in 2 or 3 years time, at a price point of what this one was when it was new, you'll be able to go into 150 miles, stroke 200 miles, and then the charging cost will be negligible. So that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'll stop yabbering on about that now. But anyway, that's you've heard that now. If you haven't already heard it, which should probably spread like wildfire because it only happened this morning. So, and a couple of people notified me of it. So is it? Go and check. Download the app. Download the app. So I'll keep you updated on that. See where we go. But meanwhile, I'm driving around with a nail in my tyre, and it's the good tyre. It's always the good tyre. I've got two good ones on the back, and the front ones, I call them racing slicks. They need changing right away, so I'll get them changed in the near future. But the rear one's fine. Got a nail in it, so always away.